What's move price? You don't know? All right, stick around and let me show you. Welcome back to class. So today let's talk about what move price, and that's liquidity. Follow me. So now, today we're going to be talking about liquidity, and I simply refer to liquidity as the fuel that price needs to move, right? See, the buying and selling we have in this market, right? Everything is being sponsored by how liquid the market itself is. So I'm not going to bore you with too many definitions about liquidity. I just want to explain to you how to use liquidity in this market. Welcome with me, and then sit around, have fun, and then learn the proper way to apply liquidity. So today we're going to talk about liquidity, which is the fuel. This is the fuel for price movement, right? Liquidity is the fuel for price movement. That's number one thing you need to know. So in today's class, like I said, we just want to see the application of liquidity itself. So we're going to look at the different types. We're going to look at the different types and forms of liquidity. Right? We're going to look at the different types and forms of liquidity. But in this case, I'm only going to focus on one major aspect. I'm going to focus on just one major aspect, right? Which is basically just going to be hold highs. Right. Hold highs and hold lows. Now, by the time we're done with this class, you're going to appreciate how important liquidity is and how to combine liquidity and structure. Follow me, let's go to our trading view and do some magic. All right, welcome back to class. Let's learn. Now, in today's class, like I said, we're going to talk about liquidity, but then I'm going to make a little reference back to structure where we spoke about last week. What I need you to do is, if you're new, you're here to subscribe to this channel, or this is my first video you're seeing, you need to go back to that video on structure for you to have a good understanding about what I'm about to teach you this moment. So now in that place, we spoke about V and A expansion, right? And I told you that the V expansion is for buy, the A expansion is for sell. So in today's class, I'm going to give you the logic behind how price move from one hold highs to the other hold lows. I know you've heard about internal and external range liquidity. That's beautiful, right? I'm going to put that concept into use there too. All right. So now, if you come to your chart, I told you I need you to be able to spot out either a V or an A-shaped expansion. Say for instance, now we'll come to this chart. What are we going to see here? Of course, we can see clearly that this was what? A V-shaped expansion. Why? Because price closed above this last body part with what? With body. So we've confirmed now that we have a V-shaped expansion. Now, from this level, I know you must have heard about range as well. So between these points, call this point A, call this point B, right? Between point A to point B, you have point A as what? Your hold high. Why is it hold? This was the last high that was formed, right? And this was the last low that was formed. So what happened? The point A, right, is the same thing some people refer to as external range liquidity. The point B, external range liquidity. And you can see this is on the daily time frame. So if price is coming from the daily time frame, each candle stands for what? What's it called? Day candle. Now, if you change this to 1 hour time frame, how many candles are you going to see in the day? Of course, 24, right? So now, for each of this, if we switch this time frame now from the daily, and then say for instance we move to 1 hour time frame, you can see instead of us to have 2 candles, right? Instead of us to have 2 candles around here, how many candles can you see? You can see we have series of candles around here. So now, for every candle between the point A and B, right? All the candles between point A and B, they are known as what? They are known as internal range liquidity, right? They are known as what? Internal range liquidity. And for every, and between the point B to point A, they are known as the external range liquidity. But then you can still use the word hold highs and hold lows. I just need you to be able to put it in a context that you easily understand. So what happened? Each time we take out point A, say for example now, price drops from point A to point B, take out point B, right? Our next targeted point will be what? Price going back take out all the liquidity that lies in between here, if you switch to a lower time frame, which is the internal range liquidity. So what happened? Price moved from this level, right, to go take out this level. And when we're done with this level, what happened again? This becomes our hold low, right? This becomes our hold low, right? And now this becomes what? Our hold high. So once price take out this level, what do we do again? We'll come down again to come and do what? To come and take out hold low. Now I'm going to show you the importance, right? Or how relevant this thing is. Pay attention, everybody. Pay attention. You remember that the last time when we were in class, I showed you a series of A and V-shaped expansion. If you come now, look at this, between these points, right, we have this as what? V-shaped expansion. What did price did? Price came back, retested that level. Look at this, between this point, right, and this point, we have this as what? V-shaped expansion. Did we retest it? Of course, no. We're here to test it. But then there's something, when you come to the chart and you see something like this, there's something that will be in your head that, okay, now, seeing the way we took out this level, right, it's not as impulsive as compared to this one. So what's expected? Price can pull back. Now, take out what? Hold low. If price should take out hold low, where's the nearest, in this case now we're buying, where's the nearest V-shaped expansion that has not been tested? Of course, the one below it. And what should happen around here? Price tap into this. Now, by the time we tap into this, what happened to this mark? We've taken out what? Hold low. If we take out hold low here, what do we do next? We will go up to go and do what? To go and take our hold high. So now let's come to the class and see the application of this thing. I'm going to also show you some examples of the trade I took using this idea. Okay, look at this. So we have this man. We have this man right here as our hold low. We have this man here as our hold high. And just like I said, if you pay attention to the movement of price from here, you can see how this one broke impulsively. It's not as compared as this man here. So what happened? I'm expecting price to turn back, right? Return, take out this external range liquidity, which is our hold low now, tap into this unmitigated POI we have here, which is the previous V expansion we had at price in test. And after price tap into it, what should happen? Price then go back up to go and do what? Take out this high. Now, why? Because like I said, one thing price need to move in this market is what? Liquidity. So for every of your hold highs and hold lows, there are forms of liquidity, and they are one of the most important type of liquidity, because price move from one external liquidity to the other. And once we collect the external liquidity, before we can go to the next one, we have to come down, take out all the internal liquidity. Let's see the magic that happen around here. So pay attention and see what we have here. I'm just going to let it run, play. Now, what do you see? Good. What do you see? Just like I told you earlier, right? That once we collect liquidity from one hold low, right, our plan is to do what? To go back and go and deposit it where? The hold high. Look at this. You can see the whole of this man serves as what? This was our external range liquidity. We took it out. This was our hold low before now. We took it out. And what did we do? One thing we need to do is, whenever we come to the chart like this, right? If we didn't break impulsively, we want to ask ourselves, okay, if price is to drop off, if every point has been mitigated, if price is to drop, where is it going to drop to? It's going to go down, collect external liquidity, which serves as what now? Our hold low. In this case, after collecting the liquidity, what happened? To go back up, to go and do what? To go and retest this level. We want to see, are we going to break here impulsively, or are we going to just take it out and then come down again to take out this man? Let's see what happens around here. Let's see what happens around here with this chart. Just like I told you, this point has not been mitigated before. So price ran into it. You can see price start buying here. So if you're to take your buy here, you want to ask yourself, let's say for example, you're taking your buy here, right? Where's the next point to target? Of course, your stop loss. I'll still teach you about entries, how to place your entry, how to place your stop loss, how to place your targeted point. I'll still teach you all these things. Then, since we've collected the external range liquidity from this level, where do we target next? Of course, we're going to the external. What? We're going to the next hold high, resting there. And if you can see clearly, you can see how close we are, right? To where? To the next external range liquidity, which is what? Which is this man. Are you getting what I'm saying? This thing happens repeatedly on your chart. Look at this level. What did we do here? We've taken out external ring liquidity. Then where do we tag? Where do we tag into? Of course, we tag into the nearest POI that has not been mitigated, right? Just below that level, right? In this case, can you see? Then what's the next thing? Price tag into here, right? What's the next thing? We'll go up again, right? We have another V-shaped expansion, right? Liquidity resting just above it. We take out that liquidity, which is what our hold low now, or the external ring liquidity. Tag into this level and we bought. Let me show you more examples from our chart so that you can see the application of this thing. If I were you, I'll watch this video over and over again, right? And try to replicate whatever you see me doing around here. Okay, look at this. Look at this, right? We have this as our V-shaped expansion. What happened? Price drop into it and then we bought. Look at this man. And let me tell you something. A single candle, right, is enough to serve as what? Your hold low or hold high. I know this is where most of you will be confused now. This is one thing most of you don't know before now. That is, a single candle, right, is enough to serve as what? Your external ring liquidity. A single candle, right, is enough to serve as the hold high or the hold low. You don't believe me? Let me show you an example. Okay, come here. See this. See this. See this. Now, you come to your chart here. What can you see? I told you if you have problems spotting out the V or the A-shaped expansion, just change it. Right? I made a video of which okay, I'm not sure I uploaded that yet, but then I'll wait. Right? If you're having problem with spotting out your A and V-shaped expansion, just change to line chart and you're going to see. What can you see here? We have a perfect V-shaped expansion, right? So now, coming down here, or going back to the candlestick, look at this. Where did our expansion happen? Of course, this man here. This man here. Our expansion happened here. Good. Now, you see that this green candle, which is my own bullish candle now, right? This green candle now, which is my own bullish candle now, caused, what's it called? The expansion we have around here, right? It caused the expansion we have, right? The green candle caused the expansion we have around there. Now, if a single candle is to serve as my external ring liquidity, is to serve as my hold highs and hold low, what do I need? I need a candle, not to trade into this POI. Once this candle didn't trade into this line, then I can say, oh, this candle will serve as what? As my liquidity. Why? Because the whole thing we're seeing around here is that price moved from one external ring liquidity to the other. So now, if we check the daily time frame, that day alone, right, can serve as what? Our hold highs and hold lows for those who trade the lower time frame. Because if you change the daily to 1 hour now, you're going to see 24 candles on that. Are you getting what I'm saying? So let's see. What do I want to see? Remember, I said I want to see the next candle, right? I want to see the next candle. Oops, sorry. I want to see the next candle. Not trade into where? You should not trade into the POI. So let's see what we'll have around here. Let's see what we'll have around here. Can you see? The next candle didn't trade into the POI. Now, let me show you something very important. Let me show you something very, very important. Now, just like we did on the daily, whereby we have V-shaped expansion and up, I want to believe that we all will agree with me that this man now, right, this is our hold low here. This candle right here is our hold low. And this candle is our hold high. So what do we do? If we are to take this trade, how do we enter? Okay, we'll look at it. Okay, we've created what? We've created liquidity, right? And we expect price to just do what? Take out what? The hold low, tap into our POI, and afterwards, what's the next thing? Price should go back up again. And going to do what? Price should go back up again. Oops, sorry. We expect price to tag into our POI, right? Then move up again to go and do what? To go and take out the external ring liquidity. And remember what I said, price move from one external ring liquidity to the other. So let's say you just come to your chart. You're patient enough, let all these things build up, right? And then let's see what happens. Let's see what happens from here. Right, let's see what happens from here. Let's have our replay. So boom, what do you see? Price tag into it and went to TP straight. So what am I trying to tell you? If you understand the concept of structure, which is what we did in our last class, and you can combine it with the idea of liquidity, which is the only one we're treating here is just the hold lows and hold high, which some people refer to as external range liquidity, and everything in between becomes what? Your internal range liquidity. Once an external range liquidity has been collected, the next thing is what? We target the next external range liquidity. And just like key points, one thing you need to notice, I know you watch my video now, 99% of you can spot out the V and A-shape expansion, which is beautiful. The next question is liquidity created, right? And I want to let you know that you don't need multiple breakup structures before you trade. A single candle is enough to serve as your external range liquidity. I hope you learned one or two things. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe. Click the subscribe button, share the link with your friend. Below this video, you're going to find the link to our Telegram channel, to our Twitter. Make sure you follow us, turn on the notifications. I drop weekly calls and market review every weekend. Make sure you join us and make money with us. Once again, my name is Charles and I make kings. Welcome to class.